Thousands gather in Belarus to mourn protester who was beaten to death by undercover policemen.
Here's a summary of the article.
Thousands of people carrying candles and flowers gathered in Minsk on Thursday to mourn the death of a 31-year-old anti-government protester who they say was badly beaten by Belarusian security forces and died in hospital. Witnesses say Roman Bondarenko was detained after scuffling with people in plain clothes who had come to a children's playground to remove red and white ribbons that represent the protest movement against veteran President Alexander Lukashenko. The death is the latest flashpoint in months of mass protests against Lukashenko following a disputed presidential election in August. The opposition says Lukashenko rigged the vote to secure a sixth successive term. Lukashenko denies electoral fraud and, buoyed by support from traditional ally Russia, has shown little inclination to step down. Sviatlana Tsikhanouskaya, who stood against Lukashenko in the election and then fled into exile, called Bondarenko a hero of Belarus. Britain expelled 2 Belarusian diplomats on Tuesday in response to 2 of its own diplomats being expelled from Belarus.
This post received a score of 68,000, with an upvote ratio of 92%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
In Ukraine, the beating of students started the whole revolution. I wonder if the actual revolution will finally start in Belarus.
This is a standard way of any revolution. The crowd, the students, several sacred victims and the final, changing the government. Our country was fucked the same way in 1993. Sad.
If only that worked for students at Tiananmen Square.
Not all the attempts have a 100% result. But it is a high effective plan which works.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to point an outlier. I really wish it took a different turn back then. Imagine the butterfly effect it would have had on the world.
My birthday that day, so I always imagined I was gifted one of their souls.
That sounds awesome.
I guess in the censorship around that event is so pervasive people call it May 34 and other things to get around the automation.
Yeah, the Chinese propaganda censorship machine is ridiculously strong.
Greater than the Interior Ministry denied responsibility for Bondarenko's death, saying he was killed due to a scuffle with civilians. Fuck this whole regime.
Lol, they always say that shit. Off the top of my head I can't think of any mass protests in the past 2 years where the police, people in power actually took responsibility for their abuses and were held accountable for their actions. Not one. It's the same movie each time but with different actors.
Yay. Protests don't work for dictatorship.
Protest has evolved into rebellion.
It is super effective.
A Belarusian patriot was beaten to death for opposing an authoritarian leader. This can happen anywhere.
Teok fade or law.
IDK what the society should do at this point. They tried protesting peacefully forever, same in Hong Kong, but every time it's worthless. Violence tends to favor the bad people. Good people don't want innocents to die, but dictators, sociopaths, psychopaths don't give a shit. Sure, good people can rise up violently, but it's a scary thing they don't enter into lightly.
In Colombia, work stoppages worked in the 60s. People stopped working, and it was getting worse every day with more people joining. The president stepped down. A country with balls will get everyone to not work together. A broke gov won't last.
See, this works only in dire situations. I say your government would have to be very broken for people to say starvation is better than going to work to put food on the table.
But this is Belarus, where people work as slaves for the government as punishment for offenses such as alcoholism. How much worse can it get?
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.